Hello, this is Veronica Shelley from IBM Security Systems Marketing. I want to welcome you to our webcast, which is entitled Next Generation Web Access Management. This webcast is designed to introduce you to our new web access management solutions, and it features two speakers, Archit Lohokare, who is our product manager for IBM Access Management Solutions, and Ellen Gasparic, Vice President of ILANTUS, which is one of our IBM Premium Business Partners. So with that, Archit, let me turn the call over to you.
Thank you, Ronnie. Appreciate that. So folks, if you go over to slide number 2, this kind of gives you an excellent perspective of IBM's next generation identity and access management strategy. What you see on this slide are the 3 primary key themes that govern our strategy. The first one is standardized identity and access management and compliance management across the enterprise that gives you the ability to get identity and access intelligence throughout your business. The second key theme is the secure cloud, mobile, and social interaction that's become pervasive in your enterprise today. So the vision incorporates use cases around this theme as well. The third key theme is addressing the growing insider threat and identity and access management governance use cases that more and more enterprises require today. So with that, let me give you an idea of the vision itself. So if you look at the top part of the charts, you will see that a typical enterprise would have several infrastructure components within it. For example, the databases, the mobile devices, and an entire range of services that govern these infrastructure pieces like directory and federation. In order to maintain and manage user access to various services provided by the enterprise, you need a comprehensive access and identity management structure. This includes capabilities like single sign-on, federation, etc., and also includes identity management capabilities like user lifecycle provisioning and management. The identity and access management systems need to be governed by a comprehensive policy-based IAM governance mechanism that allows you to map the business context of your users across your various systems. And of course, in order to really understand what is happening in your enterprise from an identity and access intelligence perspective, you need a comprehensive security intelligence layer that ties into all these pieces and gives you a 360-degree view into your enterprise. In addition to that, our vision incorporates integrations between our systems and other third-party devices and vendors, as well as third-party systems like threat protection, audit and fraud prevention, etc. So this gives you an idea of IBM's identity and access management strategy. Going over to slide number 3, this kind of gives you an idea of the various capabilities within our identity and access management portfolio. So the people domain, or the IAM portfolio, comprises primarily of 3 segments, which is the identity management, access management, and the zSecure suite. Within the IBM Identity Management segment, we have Identity Manager and Privileged Identity Manager. With an Access Manager, we have the new Access Manager for Web and Access Manager for Cloud and Mobile. And for zSecure, we have a zSecure suite of products that let you govern security for the enterprise for the mainframe. So going over to slide number 4, this gives you a picture of our new IBM Security Access Manager version 7.0 that we released earlier in November this year. So this announcement basically contains two new packages. One is the IBM Security Access Manager for Web, and the second one is IBM Security Access Manager for Cloud and Mobile. Now, IBM Security Access Manager for Web is our new next generation user access management and integrated web content protection platform. Now, this is available in a new hardware appliance as well as a virtual appliance, which basically lets you deploy this solution in your enterprise very easily, achieving fast time to value. This incorporates our best-of-breed capabilities from our access management portfolio, which includes extremely high scalability, which allows you to scale up to tens of millions of users with ease. In addition, the hardware appliance basically helps you lower the total cost of ownership, and it also helps you integrate with other third-party software within your enterprise. The second key package, which is the IBM Security Access Manager for Cloud and Mobile, contains our federation and built-in risk-based access control capabilities. Risk-based access lets you figure out the risk score of a transaction that the user is executing based on a number of factors which could be static or could be dynamic in nature. For example, based on the user's AD group combined with the location from which the user is accessing the system, you could develop a risk score for the user and correspondingly require the user to show additional forms of authentication. As part of this new cloud and mobile package, we've also added several out-of-the-box integrations with common SaaS applications like Workday, Office 365, etc., which I'll talk about a little bit in deep detail later. This package also includes entitled management, which allows you to author risk-based access policy support, as well as contains a new policy simulator that lets you easily deploy the solution. So if you go over to slide number 5, this contains details of our next generation access management appliance. I'm going to talk about this in a little bit more detail here. So our next generation access management appliance combines the capabilities of our web access management solution with web application protection. So you can now secure user access to your enterprise applications and also protect these applications against common attacks like SQL injection, cross-site scripting, etc. This appliance contains the protocol analysis module or the PAM module developed and backed by our IBM X-Force threat research team, and this appliance gets the latest updates with respect to these attacks and keeps maintains security for your applications. If you go to slide number 6, this kind of gives you a detailed account of the new capabilities within our access management for web version 7.0. The first feature it contains is 64-bit support with high availability for policy servers, which gives you the ability to lower the total cost of ownership for your organization. It also includes the virtual appliance, and this is similar to the conversation we had earlier about the capabilities within the appliance. In addition, we've also added integration with QRadar, which gives you better identity intelligence and analytics for superior compliance within your organization. Also contains web application protection, which we talked about earlier, and is compliant with standards like the NIST Suite B standards. Also contains enhanced support for AJAX and Microsoft applications, which lets you integrate and deploy with applications like SharePoint very easily. Besides having single sign-off capabilities, we have also added support for the Internet Content Adaptation Protocol, or ICAP, in this release. What it does is it gives you the ability to integrate with third-party content analytics systems like virus scanning tools, DLP, etc. This new release also contains Layer 4 load balancing, which lets you consolidate and reduce the complexity of your access management infrastructure within your organization. So with that, I'm going to go over to slide number 7 and talk about our new IBM Security Access Manager for Cloud and Mobile capabilities. The first feature we've added is risk-based access, which gives you the ability to figure out the risk score of a user during a transaction based on a number of different factors. What it does is gives you the ability to basically reduce web fraud in your organization, that is prevent and detect it. This new release also has B2C authorization with support for OAuth 2.0, which basically results in increased flexibility of integrating applications with other standards. Also contains a new Federation First Steps user interface, and this Federation First Steps user interface lets you onboard SaaS applications very quickly and easily. We've also provided out-of-the-box profiles for standard SaaS applications like Workday, Office 365, Salesforce.com, and Google Apps in this release. And this release also contains out-of-the-box support for one-time passwords, which gives you greater security and improved assurance over user access. Going over to slide number 8, I want to go ahead and explain a little bit of details about our integration with QRadar, our security intelligence platform. With this new release, you now have the ability to get a 360-degree view into what your users are accessing and the conditions under which they're accessing them. In a sense, you're able to figure out if there are any anomalies that are happening as your users are accessing your system with this new integration capability. Going over to slide number 9, this kind of gives you a perspective of how you can use risk-based access to applications and data within your infrastructure. What the example you see on this slide is basically an example of using geolocation to figure out the risk score of the user. For instance, if the user is accessing corporate and sensitive applications data from within the corporate network, the user potentially could be asked to supply only the user ID and password to authenticate. But if the user now goes outside of the corporate network and accesses the same confidential system from, say, a Starbucks, the user might be required to supply a one-time password in addition to the user ID and password to make sure that he's accessing the system securely. So this kind of gives you an idea of how risk-based access can be used to prevent and detect web fraud. Going over to slide number 10, wanted to quickly touch upon the new Worklight integration that we have with IBM Security Access Manager. Worklight is an app development platform, and using this new integration between ISAM and Worklight, you can create apps that securely allow users to access confidential data and systems on their mobile applications and mobile devices. This also contains OAuth support, which basically lets you integrate with common applications using standards very easily. With that, I'm going to hand over the baton over to Ellen, my colleague here from ILANTUS, and she's going to give you a brief idea of how their new product, Federation Express, complements our IBM Security Access Manager for cloud and mobile solution. So Ellen, over to you.
Thank you, Archit. I would like to set the context for the rest of today's presentation. ILANTUS has been a provider in the security arena for over 12 years, as well as a premier business partner with IBM. IBM, with its leading products in the identity and access management domain, provides companies with full-function analytic knowledge tools. ILANTUS, as a systems integrator and a managed service provider, has tremendous experience and knowledge of these products. As we evaluated products to build our own offerings, we chose the best-of-breed providers to serve as the foundation for our solution, which is called Federation Express. Everyone today, in any size environment, has to deal with the cloud. How do you provide access? How do you govern access? And the auditor's favorite of all, who has access? The evolving solution answer to those questions is a strong Federation platform that includes the tools needed to make it easy to use and easy to configure. SAM, or ISAM, for cloud and mobile, provides the engine for a strong Federation base. ILANTUS has coupled that with an authentication engine and access to hundreds of application connectors, not just a few popular SaaS applications floating out there in the cloud, but any application, whether it is SAML compliant or not, as well as the ability to integrate your internal web application portals. This is wrapped by a user interface that is clean, easy to navigate for both the administrators as well as the end user population. Here we have a demonstration of the increased functionality that comes from the Federation Express offering. Your implementation of this package provides significant advantages to your organization in terms of ease of use, reduced IT support, and extended functionality, all in a very quickly responsive environment. This slide shows a quick overview of what the user sees. They can access applications, request access to new applications, see information about their activities, and best of all, having presented their user ID and password one time, gain the access to the applications they need without having to present credentials again or read their passwords off the notes that they may have tucked into their keyboard. So you are very much enabling your users and giving them a sense of independence that leads to better productivity on their part. Here's a quick view of what the administrator's dashboard looks like. You can see that the same simplicity of design has carried through to this functionality. Administrators can easily add new applications, disable or modify access to existing applications, and user groups. So a significant amount of control provided to that administrator, but in a very flexible, easy-to-use environment. Some of you at this point may have questions about how this applies to your organization. Here we're looking at a scenario or use case that is common to virtually every organization today. Technology is a great enabler, but we all know that it also can be a great time waster. Applications have proliferated at nearly the rate that technology is changing. And the means to access those applications is no longer as simple, just click on the icon. Add in the BYOD reality, and providing secured access becomes even more of a challenge. Federation Express, powered by ISAM for cloud and mobile, easily eliminates these issues. Another use case that I'd like to briefly mention is any environment that deals with a customer loyalty program, where you have a portal that you're allowing an interaction with your external customers. They typically will have to go through a registration process in advance and be granted a unique user ID and password for use with that. The problem common to this scenario is that there's typically a very, very high registration abandon rate because users start going through the questions, they get frustrated, they realize they've answered these many times before for other places. If the environment is responsive, they just simply abandon the registration. And then you've lost the ability to connect with that customer. What also frequently happens is that there's a very high call volume coming into the service desk for resets due to forgotten passwords, account lockouts. In many cases, they even have forgotten what their user ID is. By the use of the social ID aspect of the Federation Express solution, you can allow your customers to register with their existing social ID, user ID. And we all know it's much more likely that that external user is going to remember a Facebook or some other social ID, user ID, and password much more easily than they will remember the one that they created for your site specifically. So here you have a way to guarantee an easy interaction for your customers, driving up loyalty, driving up ease of use with your site. Some of the other key features that are delivered by this product are the support of the two-factor and context-based authentication. You know, the very same things that you heard Archit cover in his part of the presentation. In addition to that, the Federation Express solution easily integrates with an existing IBM Identity and Access Management solution or those from other providers. So you can connect the results of the Federation activities to your identity and access management environment. However, included are very strong auditing capabilities right in the base package that, again, integrate with existing SIEM solutions. A key security feature is that your users' enterprise credentials are not ever exposed. They are contained within your network environment, so you do not have any increased security risk by using this product. There is a BYOD portal for the users, so this transfers across all of the devices that are brought to that enterprise environment today. Because this is a cloud-based solution, it very easily scales to the needs and demands of your business. And again, as mentioned before, using the social ID makes this a very easy platform to use for your external customers. So Federation Express, powered by ISAM, provides a very powerful, flexible, and affordable solution for your environment. However, to be truly enabling, you have to be able to connect applications to this environment. And that's where the real power of this solution comes into play. The high ready availability of application connectors. And it's not just one class of application that's out there. Any SaaS application that is SAML compliant, the connectors are free as needed to the customers. Any SaaS application that is non-SAML compliant, if the connector is not already available today, can be created and made available for deployment in as few as 5 to 10 days. And the true power of this comes for those internal web applications and portals that exist in your organization. Federation Express gives you a very simple 4-step process where you can create that connector yourself to bring your internal web applications into this environment. If you look at the offering today, we have over 1,500 application connectors available, and that count is going up every day as we have a connector factory available whose sole function is to identify the applications that are in demand and build the connectors for those environments. In summary then, the key benefits of Federation Express as powered by the ISAM offering from IBM. It's a full-function federation solution that is highly secure to meet your organization's needs. It delivers great user convenience and satisfaction, which we all know leads to fewer calls to the service desk, thus generating less time lost on the job for the users, as well as a lower cost of doing business for your service desk. The auditing capabilities support the information needed for compliance and research. And finally, it's backed by the best, your team from IBM and ILANTUS. With that, I would like to thank you for your time and attention today. Please feel free to reach out for any more information. Archit, back over to you.
Thank you, Ellen. So again, everyone, thank you for your time today. If for more information, please be sure to visit www.ibm.com/security, where you'll find additional information on our new access management solutions. Thanks.